Yo, what's up, y'all? Today I wanted to talk about how we refer to different races in America. So, as you can see, my genetics come from Asia, Eastern Asia, South Korea to be specific. My parents are Korean. So, but I was born in America, so I could run for president if I wanted to. So, what do we call people like me? Call them Asians, right? But I really do not like that word because it's not really equal. So if you have African blood, you have dark skin, what do people call you? Black or African American? But African people don't really use the term African American that often. Most people just say black, but no one calls Asian Americans yellow, which is, I would think it's a more fair term to use because the term Asian, it implies a foreignness. You feel like a foreigner when someone calls you Asian. So I don't like that. And most people don't say Asian American, they just say Asian. So when people talk about black people, they don't say African unless they were born in Africa, you know? They always say either black or African American. So I guess Asian American is the lesser of two evils, but I think yellow is the better term because it does make it's just an adjective that describes color. So you don't feel like a foreigner. So the difference is white people, we don't call them Europeans or European Americans. So why do we call black people African Americans and yellow people Asian Americans? It's just not fair. Either call everyone by their old world roots. White people call them European Americans, black people call them African Americans, yellow people call them Asian Americans, or just identify people by color, white, black, and yellow, because it's just not fair the way we call each other. Say that your parents are Italian and you were born in America. You might call yourself an Italian American, but other people, they're not going to be able to tell what country in Europe you came from, so people are just going to call you an American. They're not going to say, you're a white American. So it takes a lot of time. Even if, say, I bred with a white person and then my children bred with white people, and forever and ever, we would still have that Asian look about us, and then people would call them Asian, even if they were half Asian, a quarter Asian, an eighth Asian. So it's not really fair. If you think about Tiger Woods, most people forget that he's half Asian and half black. They just think he's black. So they say he's the best golfer and he's black. What about the Asian part? Why don't you recognize the Asian part? That's not fair. So I think my overall point is that language is a very slippery slope. It does a lot of damage to us, to the sensitive people, and if even if you're not sensitive, it causes very surreptitious damage to the psyche of the country and to individuals. I think we should be more careful with language. At the same time, we shouldn't be offended by everything people say. And I'm probably oversensitive about stuff like this. And in the future, maybe in 1,000 years, 500 years, we'll have evolved so that we don't need language to communicate. We'll all just be able to use telepathy, the power of thought. So I don't think that right now we think with language. When we think in our mind, we think with language. We think with words. But I think in the future, we will be thinking with our thoughts, our emotions, and we will be able to transmit that to other beings, other higher intelligence beings. And then, okay, I don't think people are trying to offend people when they say Asian or whatever. It's just a societal norm, and people have to conform if we want to be able to communicate, even if it's offensive. I just think that slowly we need to be more sensitive and to change our language, because language is part of our society, our civilization, and it's very important that we get everything right, even if you don't agree. Even if you can't see the damage it's doing, you can't feel it yourself. I'm telling you that it is felt, it is important, and we need to change. Well, thank you for joining me on another video. Have a great day.